by ferricfox. Ferric, take it away.
はい、それでは次のゲームのご紹介したいと思います。次のゲームはアノマリーコラプス、カテゴリー Any%、奏者はフェリック・フォックスさんです。こちらのゲーム、解説の方いらしてないので、もしお分かりになる方いらしたら、飛び入りの解説でも、あるいはチャット欄でのご説明でも構いませんので、ご協力いただけると助かります。今回のこちらの、アノマリコラプス、今すでに可愛らしいね、モフモフのキャラクターたくさん出ていると思うんですけれども、これらのキャラクターを操作した、ストラテジーというふうに聞いております。
Actually choose the starting character. We have our starting character. Well, it's a little awkward. We still have that tie between enemy. Hold on. It just updated. Your starting character with $55 donated for them is going to be Stray the Bear.
Got it. Okay, so Stray the Bear. He's kind of
今回は、ドネーションで、ビットで決まっているのかな、この、クマさんが、操作キャラになるようです。で、操作キャラを選んでアクションスタートを押した瞬間にゲームがスタートしますということで、グッドラックです。アノマリーっていう言葉があるから、もっとSS 的なホラーチックな何かが出てくるのかなと思ったら、主人公側のキャラクター非常に可愛いんですが、敵側がちょっとアノマリーな敵が出てくるということみたいですね。
If you hit enemies and other enemies or into the side of the arena, which is a just one-dimensional line of tiles, they'll take extra damage. So you can see there we got our second character. It is not one of the ones that we want. There's always a guaranteed character choice after the first combat. There's 4 different zones that we'll go through to get to the end of the game. Each one we're going to do 5 combats.
最後までに、ゾーン4つをクリアする必要があるそうです。で、最初のゲームの後必ずこうやって仲間が増えるのかなというふうに今奏者さんおっしゃってますよね。
So one of the key game mechanisms, just to know from the very beginning, is what co-op attacks are. So if you go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, so normally if a character is standing on the same tile as another character and they attack, they will join in. All the characters on that tile will join in.
なるほど。同じマスにいるキャラクターはこう協力攻撃みたいな感じで攻撃すると同時に戦ってくれるようです。
And healing. Mira gets a trait that allows her to join in co-op attacks from an extra tile away. So like she's standing, well, she was standing.
で、今のキャラクターは、一つ離れていても協力攻撃が出てくるのかなみたいな個性があるみたいですね。
That we can get along the way that can also extend that range, increase the damage of co-op attacks. Items in this game are called abnormalities. There's active ones that will maybe give some stats and also give an extra like attack or some kind of combat.
あれですかね、ストラテジー要素のかなり高い感じで、一列のこの陣地を移動しながらという、ヒーラー系のサポートキャラなんですね。なるほど、ありがとうございます。ということで、ちょっとゲーム始まったばっかりなんですけれども、ここで、司会の方交代いたします。ここまではカルミナがお送りいたしました。RPG リミットでこれからもお楽しみください。
So we have one character that we kind of need to sub out here. So luckily we got a shop. At the shop we can purchase a wish compass, which is going to let us get a character that is not currently on the board. So we'll go ahead and get this up here.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and grab that.
And the SOS banner that Ferric just got at the end of the last combat is the one that increases the range in which other characters can attack, a co-op attack. So he's grabbing Anime, the bird, right now. She's sort of the main like single target damage dealer. Does a lot of well.
はい、どうもお世話になっております。ここから司会変わりまして、ムジェ君が担当いたします。よろしくお願いします。
Mira is going to be able to join in co-op attacks. That enemy starts from 2 tiles away. If you have the trait, I didn't see if you got the trait on Mira yet.
Yeah, Mira got the trade.
はい。
So.
で、このアノマリーコラプスなんですけど、このタイトルもそうなんですが、ここからいくつか解説者さんが不在のタイトルがいくつかというか、これと続きか。ありますんで。はい、ぜひこのゲームのこと詳しいよっていう方いらっしゃいましたらね、ぜひチャット欄でも構いませんので、サポートいただけますと幸いです。
Picks up a preset factor. In the first area, it is spore diffusion, I think. Just like a few tiles end up with spores on them as combat goes on.
でこのゲームは、要はモフモフする感じのキャラクターを操作して戦うストラテジー系のゲームっぽいですね。なんか、Steam のビッシュリストを見に行ったら、僕はすでに去年の5月ぐらいにね、もう入れてましたね。買ってないんですけど。
He kind of generates a bunch of like little sporelings and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. So you'll see 2 different stats. I don't know, Bursik, did you mention the armor versus the health stat up there?
Anomaly,
yeah, every character, the yellow bar on top is armor, and that gets replenished at the beginning of every combat. The green bar underneath is their health. That does not automatically get refilled between combats. Stray is really good about armor. He's very armor focused. With him as the leader, I believe all characters are getting a bonus to their armor, like as encounters are completed.
So whichever character you start with, there's some different effects that trigger for the entire run. So he just re-upped. He's a little bit tricky that way because he redid his armor. But if I generate enough action points here with Enemy, I should be able to break through that again and take him down.
Yeah, and as a roguelite, you know, these are things that you unlock through.
このボスはあれか、ちっちゃい雑魚を召喚して戦うタイプのやつだけど、基本的に雑魚を処理せずに。
They've got other stats that get unlocked just by naturally playing with the characters, whether they're the leader or not.
First boss down.
直接ボス叩いてますね。で、ゲリラ始めましたと。
なる
ほど。で、倒したら、こう、3つのうちから1つ選ぶ、ローグライト系のやつですね。いわゆる。
Tornado donates $10 and says, "Good luck on the run, Ferric."
Thank you, Tornado. I appreciate that.
And Garrick16 donates $250 to Nami. No comment, but thank you so much for your generous donation.
That's wonderful. Thank you for all the generosity for the good cause. I appreciate that. So we're on to our second chapter here, the Highway of Heck. We're going to say heck on the stream. So, and strays off to the first encounter. So,
yeah. So when Ferric is choosing encounters on the map, there are 3 different types of enemies that you'll see pop up. There's small, bigger, and then the biggest.
ハインコリなんだ。結構強いな。で、ノックバックもついてると。クマさんは結構攻撃の要になりそうですね。
If they're available, those are just common encounters. At the end of this area, for the last 2 fights, he may choose elites just because the common enemies that show up at that point can actually be pretty nasty and more difficult.
They deal a lot of fire damage, which can kind of take your prey down really quick in a hurry. So I usually prefer to go for elites for the last 2 of this area. Let's see here. So right now, just using Stray's ability to kind of push.
ああ、なるほど、なるほど。弾き飛ばして敵に当てるとさらに追加でダメージが入るのか。これは気持ちよさそうですね、確かに。
Kind of can pick things off from range, so that's sort of what she's doing. The nice thing about Anime too is she has.
ねえ、まあ、基本的に一本のライン上で戦うから、横にずれてとかそういうのはなくって、まとめて飛ばせばその分、後ろの敵にヒットするってことですね。すごいシンプルで分かりやすいですね。
So you can see there's been a bunch of other icons on the map as well. Like there were a couple crystal-looking things there on the map that are just Tempestium, I think it's called, the currency in the game.
Maybe Tempesium, something like that. You're close though, yeah. It's money.
Yeah.
It's money. So.
Yeah, if he were to take those, there'd be an option to just get some money or get more money, but then also I think it's usually like pick up an extra factor, so another negative effect that'll be happening in every combat. And of course, I mean, we don't want to waste the time. It's speedrun, so.
Exactly. Let's see.
So he just hit the 60 out of 100 on the investigation. So in this area, that adds, I think it's Undying, is what it's called.
That's right, yeah.
Basically, every enemy he kills, except for the boss, every enemy he kills is going to come back to life with
and I did not
a small
get an
amount of their
elite
original
pop
HP.
there, so we'll sort of see how this goes. This is just a basic, just because that's what the board gave me, so that's what I got to work with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but everything's clustered pretty nicely there. I think if I move Stray like this, start working this direction, we'll be off to a pretty good start, so.
Yeah, at least starting with all of your characters on one side and all of the enemies on another side is usually pretty desired.
Pretty much ideal.
Sometimes,
yeah, for the co-ops,
yeah.
exactly.
Sometimes they can all be intermixed, and then it becomes really hard to like group things up, and especially like enemy usually needs to be at least 2 tiles away from enemies.
Yep. She's got the vault. She has vault shot that
focused.
she can use sometimes as sort of a special ability to move around. So actually now, because vault shot's free, I'm just going to use it on this little one right here and finish that one off. I'm going to move up here so that I can activate next time. And then we've just got those last 2 left. So the Undying is tough. When they come back, they are temporarily stunned when they come back, but you have to basically kill them twice with like less hit points the second time. So let's see, none of these is amazing, so we'll just grab that one. And we can get our final. We're going to do one more upgrade.
なんか
This is for
買い物みたいなやつか。
this is kind of a safety for the end boss in case.
今から買い物かな。で、お金は右上に出てるし、238のやつか。で、
Before the shop,
1円の何か
got
買
a safe
っ
house
て、
there, and the first 2 options, the first 3 options in the safe house are always the same. There's one that's
モバ
basically just a heal.
モバイルフォートレス。
There's one that increases their armor for all characters permanently, and then the third one is our
携帯型要塞。
I believe it's called, where
どういうこ
you
と
have a choice of picking one of the characters and then picking one of their
Like upgrades, yeah.
class.
まあ防護兵器みたいなもんなんですかね。
Yeah, so there's definitely a couple for each character that we really want to see.
And this is going to be our
That's a way to
first
force
elite
them.
combat. So you can see there we've seen a character type we haven't seen before, which is those big floaty things. They're elites, so they're going to be harder to kill than the typical monsters. So we'll kind of focus here, take that out with snipe. I think these ones redistribute damage. Yeah, so they kind of move around when you hit them and redistribute the damage amongst themselves. So it can get a little bit tricky, like with the ranges, like with enemy and things like that. But we'll see how it goes. Finish this guy.
攻撃するたんびに右下のね、なんかすごい通知がボンボンボン出ますけど。
Now, but she's too close, so we're kind of move her out a little bit. And all the AP
スナイパーリワールドとか、ベンデッタ。
So checking armor. Armor's looking good right now.
アキュミュレートレイジ。へえ、蓄積する怒りとか。
I don't know if I should talk about AP.
Yeah, you can go ahead and mention like the
殴られるほどダメージ
and,
増えるってやつですかね。
Yeah, so in the bottom left corner under the character, there's some green circles there. That's the
火
movement
力出る
points,
系の
and
パ
those
ッ
are
チを
character
もう
specific.
てんこ盛りにして速攻を仕
Those
掛
are
ける
usually
っていうの
more,
が
but they usually just refresh every
RTA の
turn
スピードラン
when
の
a
まあ
character comes out. The
スタイルっ
AP,
ぽいですね。
that yellow hexes in the middle on the bottom are shared. So that's action points.
Okay, we got through it.
One way, good job.
We do get better
one way to
items for
build
the elites, which is
AP.
nice. So.
Yeah.
ザップジェリーフィッシュ
You can build AP really quick by having characters rest, and we'll typically always have enemy rest on her first turn because some of her abilities have charge, which is just charge requires
アイ
that
テム
your
入手してボ
previous
ス戦
character
かね
rested for them to pick
ボ
up
ス2
extra
タイムかな
attacks.
これで
Snipe gets an extra 40% damage
Yes,
and
which is really nice.
Pushback. So
All right, second boss. This is
なんだこれは
creepy tablets.
何これ
So
え
what goes on with these ones here. So we know the range of enemy is basically 3 except for snipe. So we have to get her close enough, and then by stacking her with stray.
で白いゲージが
everyone can be there, including Myra. So we're doing maximum
シールドかな
damage
だからこれ剥がしてからダメージ取る
Just
ようにな
hoping
っ
for some
て
some rolls that will generate some more AP for us. So this first
まあ
tablet
今ん
is
と
not
こ
going to be
何
long
も
for
し
this
てこない
world.
little ads come in to
So if you can see down there when rapid shot pops up, that's the one that's using movement points for its attack. So I didn't want to do too much rapid shot there because I need to get enemy to the other side of the board with Myra so that I get my co-op, and then we're going to go ahead and shield charge like this to get Stray on there. So now the whole team's there, and now I can start
右が倒し
taking
た
out
ん
the
で
second
左
tablet.
側
Let's do this. Now we got rapid shot. Myra's generating AP with one of her abilities and one of her items that she has. Stray is hanging tight. And then enemy is up again. We really would like to get him killed before the enemy reinforcements come. And we did it. So second boss down.
yeah.
Thank you. Let's see what we got here. That's pretty good. It's not amazing. Okay, so host, this would be a good time for any announcements if you have them.
For sure. Red Silvers donates $5 with no comment. And I just want to, if you're like me and you're not normally awake at this time,
And me.
and you, I just want to tell everybody about one of our sponsors, Dragon Roast Coffee. So Dragon Roast Coffee is a small, passionate team of coffee roasters that are dedicated to making coffee for gamers and the gaming community. Visit their website at www.dragonroast.coffee and enter the promo code RPGLB25 at checkout for 10% off your order. In addition to their coffee, you can also purchase an exclusive dual-insulated RPG Limit Break tumbler available only for this event.
On to the third area. This one, once we get
we got
through
a
the first
really
few
bad
combats-
factor. Did you see what the factor was?
I did not.
It's
Which one?
it's exclusive. So exclusive is very bad
言ってっぽいけど、はい。
because it pushes
なるほ
your
ど。
characters away from each other, and you want your characters, like we were talking about before, to be stacked so that you can get co-op damage. So during
まあ
the
まあまあ
turn, you
まあ
can
コラプ
stack
ス
them,
そうね
but as soon
なん
as the
か
turn ends, they are going to destack themselves. So, and this little bugger
At
just
least you got
follows
the
you
SLS
around.
banner, though.
まあゲームから連想されるイメージとしてはまあポストアポカリプスとかあの辺ですよね アノマリーとか
Yeah, and I mean that's there's always one factor at the beginning of each area, and so all 5 combats here are going to have exclusive. I don't think they persist into the boss fight though.
I don't believe so. No, that's correct. So,
No.
improvise.
入ってことは火山灰かなんかなんですかそれともなんかの影響で灰が舞ってるんですか
Alright, so this is pretty much a good setup for Stray because everything's sort of stacked and he can do his AoE attacks like this, sort of maxing out his damage, and then you kind of just come in with enemy and pick off the rest.
Have you seen anything that gives slam damage?
I have not.
Or is he
No, I haven't seen a lot of good damage power-ups yet. So we're kind of going to be hoping for those. That's good for Stray. Gives him an additional ability to kind of push things around. So we'll go ahead and
we
give him that.
manifested the brick by talking.
Yeah,
about
the brick is nice. Yeah, it's basically if something's on Stray square, it will allow you to attack it. So it kind of gives him 2 attacks that way, which is really nice. So
Yeah, his basic attack with his hammer only does pushback if you have 4 or more AP. So usually by the time his turn comes up in the first round, you've got that because you've rested with enemy and then you've got that item
these guys
producing
off
AP from Mira.
yeah. So then I got the slam damage from the brick, which was really nice. Even without the co-op, I was able to finish those off. So now enemy can kind of just take care of this guy in short order.
Cook.
Yeah. We're cooking. All right, that went well. So, I guess we'll take this. So now we got Meteorite. Maybe you can explain what Meteorite is.
Yeah, you'll see when he gets into combat, there's going to be a few, or just at every round in combat, there's going to be one tile that has some yellow, like, caution marks on it. And at the end of the turn, a meteorite is going to fall there. And hopefully that's kind. It obviously does a lot of damage to anything on that tile when it lands, but it's also a very large obstacle, and it's not something that can be moved through, except for some specific like movement, like maybe Bolt Shot would get you across it, but we wouldn't want enemy to, separate herself from the rest of the party. Like
Ideally not, yeah. Usually we do that as kind of a last attack, so...
So, yeah, the meteorite's landing on enemy.
Actually gonna move her forward just for safety. That's
この
tough. So.
黄色のびっくりマークのところに
And I also don't have the AP from resting. So
上から物が降ってくるらしいです。
Exclusive made that very awkward. It's not
The
normally that
exclusive pushed
awkward.
Mira right back.
隕石
Yeah, it's
隕
not
石みたいな
normally
こと言ってます
that
ね。
awkward. So,
At least the enemies are all grouped up.
あ、降ってきた降ってきた。これこれこれ。だからこれをどうするんだろ
let's
う。
just kind of get her forward. And get her forward. That guy does a lot of damage, so we should be able to take this one.
ああ、単に障害物になるだけか。
Good. Maybe move back a square, and then hopefully
破壊
get it with the
ま
last
あ
attack there.
RPGLB やるから破壊すれば乗り越えられるけ
Making
ど
this zone much more difficult than it typically is, so we're doing our best. So,
Yeah.
so
まあ
support
基本的には後ろ戻らずに前に出て
2.
殴るって感じですね。
That sewer grate that you see there, manhole cover, is a DLC. You do not want to go in there because it's an entire different chapter. So let's not do that.
隕石がもう降ってくるってことは相当やばい世界ってことですね。
Feel free to go in there, but for speedrunning, no way.
I'll just push all these guys back here.
あとこの場合どうするんだろう。敵と
So I'm actually
自分の間に隕石が出てしまった場合、
take this out. Do as
あ、
many
それでも
co-ops as I
あ、
can
遠
back
距離的だと
here.
ダメージ通るんだ。
And then I will just, for 0, I'll just take myself over that with Bald Shot. So
あれ
that's where Bald Shot can be helpful. That one is done.
And at least the
take
co-op attack
this one.
destroyed it.
Yeah, exactly. Get her moved up.
クマさんが立ってる位置にびっくりマーク出てますけど、
I'm just gonna move him forward to get
で
him
移動
out
する
of,
と。
out of the way of the meteor because his health is actually kind of low.
That was nice of it.
ああ、なるほど。ここに誘導できれば敵にも
Thing just summoned a monster. I think I'll be able
ダ
to
メージを与えられると。
back here. I should be able to kill this. I've got one more. I don't want to hit the meteorite. So there is targeting in this game also. You have to make sure that the crosshairs are on what you actually want to kill.
Yeah, the-
Flashing Flame is very good, so let's just get that.
Like, you can see obviously stuff gets stacked up on one tile. There's not really an ability to affect how characters face and also which side of the tile they're on, or like how they are on the tile in relation to other enemies. So if, for instance, Stray was on the same tile as an enemy
うーん、う
and he went
ー
to
ん、う
use
ん。
his hammer and knock it back, it's just going to be whichever side
う
the
ん、
enemy is
隕
on from
石、
Stray.
基本的には無視して遠距離攻撃で散るけど、真ん中に隕石座っちゃうと、そこにターゲットが座れちゃうから、
So we actually got a
照準
little
合わ
bit
せる
of,
のが面倒くさいって
well, I hate to say the
言っ
word,
てま
but
すね。
one of the 3 bosses that we could get here, this is the one that I would pick. I will just say that. Because this one, you can kind of just sit back usually with enemy and wail on it. Myra's doing a stun with her co-op, so there's a boss on this level that is extremely difficult compared to this one. So this is good. We can work with this.
で、ボス3体目ですか。
And toast. So that's the 3rd boss. 3rd
Very
chapter
nice.
done. Done and okay, we got our first slam damage, which is really good for Stray. So it's for the last chapter, but it will be good for him to have that. So and this would be a good time for any announcements if you have them. So
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that one of our runs coming up later this morning is Soul Blazer, and we have a naming incentive that's open right now. I just want to
で、
provide
今第3章が終わ
so
っ
currently in the lead
て、
with
全部で
$125
第何章まであるのかがちょっとわかんないけど、
followed by Ark at $50, Larry at $25, and Larpus at $11. So we have the end of this run as well as the next run, Densetsu no Kusoge, to name that hero. So if you want to get your donation into Nami for that incentive, you know what to do.
So this, I will say, I gotta invoke that this has never
あれ、もう
happened
これ最
before.
終、
So
最終エリアです
I've
か、これ。
probably played about
ということで、第
120
4
hours this
章まで。
game. I rolled exclusive twice for both chapters. So this is also
Oh,
another
wow.
exclusive chapter, which just means it's just gonna push people around and be difficult, and just we'll make it work. It'll make it for an interesting run. Let's say that. So
Ferric, would you say that this run is exclusive to RPG Limit Break?
it is absolutely exclusive to RPG Limit Break. Love it. So would not have said it any other way. Let's see here. So yeah, we'll kind of make our way through it. So we're just not going to be able to stack our characters as well as we usually are. So things will just take a little bit more time. That barrel actually really helped us. So thank you, barrel.
Wow.
And then we're going to have to keep an eye on the health and stuff because it might get a little bit dicey. So that's pretty decent for Stray. Let's go ahead and grab that.
So you can see, like, there's also that note there. Obviously, that's just another type of encounter. I think those sometimes there's an option. Actually, there's a bunch of different options that come out of that. Like sometimes you can get like a shop, or a choice of like getting a shop or getting a safe house. But sometimes there's, you pick up another factor.
Yeah, or you can
as
advance the
cost.
story. Like sometimes it's just a variety of different
Yeah.
encounters.
こ
So
れ殴るたんびに敵のどこにたくさんの
hit anything from back here. I cannot. So
数値
the
が
snipe we always want to use on our highest
Hit
hit point monster because again, if you've rested enemy the turn before, it's going to deal an additional 40% of damage, which is just huge. So should be able to take that out on my own. Oh yeah, I've got the co-op and plus her, so she's got two ranges of co-op, which is really nice. Heat immunity, sure. Guess I could throw that on Mara.
So have you seen the stats associated with the items too? Like there's 4 major stats. There's strength, which is usually what we give to Stray. There's support, which is Mira's stat. There's tech, which is enemies, and then there's mind, which enemy and Mira both use in some capacity as well.
So with that,
then-
with that item that Stray got, he's dealing like additional slam damage and edge damage. So he's just kind of a beast on his own right now, which is really, really nice. So you're seeing him kind of just go whole hog on some of these guys. That is a lot of stuff on the board. Oh my goodness, what is all this stuff? So we
堀さんがレベルの5に上が
definitely
り
want
ま
to do
し
this first because
た
that'll expire first.
で
Do party upgrades, see if we've got any additional items that we want. That is very good for Myra. That is very good for Anime. And then we were hoping for maybe some additional AP generation items, but I'm not seeing them. But we'll make it work. So let's see. So Anime can have this. Myra can have this. Unfortunately, there's just not enough time to talk about what each individual, item does, but there's probably about 100 of them, and you just kind of have to memorize them and know which ones you're looking for so that you can do the run fast.
おお、
And now we have seesaw.
傾いとる。
So
Hey,
the
seesaw.
board is a giant seesaw. That is the sort of God. I don't want to say exclusive, but it's the exclusive factor for the fourth area.
Is it exclusive to
after you hit
RPGLB? Right.
60%.
It is not.
No, it is not.
It is not. So.
You will always see this.
You will always see
this after 60% in the fourth area.
Exactly. So we'll go and snipe
And
this
it's
guy.
just- it's exactly what you'd think. Like depending on
down,
what
up,
characters
down.
are,
Yep.
it's going to go back and forth. And if you're on the high ground, you win. Well, you don't win.
Let's see. Fire Watcher.
You do more damage. You take less damage.
そろそろラスボスか。
Spray is the one that's not full. So Fire Watcher affects the whole party, so we'll throw that on him. And we've got one more area here
あ、
before
直
we
接はいかないのか。
final boss. Oh, she moved. I just can't get over that.
Oh boy.
Oh. Okay, moved her back.
Love
So,
exclusive.
all right.
See, this is a mess.
This is a total mess. But here we go.
Everything is on top of the party. Yeah, Stray's going to get it out of there at least.
Stray's gonna do Stray things. So with his item that he got that does the additional slam damage. So
Yeah, and then they're up against the edge. So yeah, like once the enemies are in at the edge of the arena, if you do any further like slam against them, they're considered cornered and will
Exactly,
take
yep.
extra slam damage.
and those are just puddings.
But
They start
once-
as like one big pudding, and then they split into two smaller puddings. They're not really a threat. They just take a while because it's just you have to kill two additional monsters when they pop. So pudding pop.
Yeah. So now Ferric is going to be looking for a few things. I don't know if you have a shop beacon. I didn't see if you
I think I have
still have one left.
Yeah.
You have.
So I have two shops.
That's not
Well, I have two safe houses left. So yeah.
safe houses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
safe
like
house. Yeah,
I
shops
don't see
different.
a
Yeah.
sh-
No more
Safe
shops.
house.
No more
Yeah,
shops.
so-
Go ahead.
あっちにそこ行
So
く。
the safe houses, he's mostly going to be looking for things like meditate and what's the other one?
Read. Read is the other one.
Read, the reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just things that'll give buffs to like the next couple combats, and of course that'd be great to stack going into the final boss.
All right, I'm setting up for the final boss. So
で、
here we
俺も
go.
準
This
備
is,
して、
of course, this is an RPG, so we do not get a one-phase boss. We get a two-phase boss, and we have to kill some doppel guys before the boss actually pops. So you'll see this here in a moment. Doppel Stray, Doppel Anime, and Doppel Myra. The
Looks
dialogue.
so familiar.
The dialogue
Crazy.
did seem oddly familiar. So I'll
あ、
kind
なんだ、
of
こっ
walk
ち
you
こっち
through
側
this
と似たような構
here.
成の
We're
人
gonna
型
focus
の
right now on taking out the doppels, so because we have to pop the final boss.
テクチャーが出
which
て
is
きまし
there
た
in the back. So that's good because now Anime will be able to take this out with one shot, like so. And here comes the first phase of the final boss. So really the goal here is going to be to stack burning on the boss with Anime. I do
あ
have
っという間に倒
ability
し
on
て、
Myra
そ
that
の
I
後、
can do to increase your co-op damage if I feel like if I feel like it not
よくわ
enough
かん
damage is
ない
coming out. But right now
クリ
Enemy's
スタル
doing
の
pretty good damage, so I
何
think
か
I'm just going to roll with it and generate more AP points. You can see the burning effect on the boss right there. And of course, what sort of game would it be without epic boss music in the back?
あ、なんか終わりそうだな、もう。
All right,
Yeah, that-
phase
ゴリゴリ
four,
削れ
here
て
we
く。
go.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, casually.
あ、
that-
こういうのね、第二形態がある。あ、やっぱりね。
It can be
It starts
very
dropping
知ってた。
crystals.
Yeah.
If it drops crystals on crystals, they shatter.
最初座りしてる
Damage going
何
out
か
and-
It can
赤
definitely
い
turn into a mess
人型
fast,
の
yes.
根っこみたいな。
So I think this is going pretty good with just Anime, so I'm not going to do the catalytic armor on Myra.
人参だな、これ人参みたいな。
A ton of damage, so I will take that.
Yeah, hopefully those
こんな見た目のなんか人参ありますよね。
They're definitely going to pop, yeah.
Even-
And I'll have to do crowd
don't even-
control probably
don't even
once.
bother.
I'll probably have to crowd control them once, but that's not terrible. Even if they don't all die, I'll be able to push them back so they can't like reasonably attack my party. So that will be good. And she can just use her movement point abilities because she doesn't have to move at all.
ファンタジー系で言うなら、あれですよね、マンドラゴラとか、あの辺の軽量がまさにこれ。
So pretty much out there. Gonna take a little bit of damage, but that's okay. And just a hair of crowd control here. Like so. So we will be coming up on time. It will be when it says Epsilon is saved, and I will tell you when that
まあでも
happens.
も
There is
う
a
終わりそう。
after the final boss. So second phase down. That is
撃破し
anomaly collapse.
て
I'll tell you time here in a moment.
会話があって、ムービーが始まって、
We have time.
タイマーストップです。GG でした。
We had a couple firsts there. We had exclusive in 2 chapters, which I have never had before in any run that I've ever done. And I do think this is the first time I've done it at 4 in the morning. So the brain was a little foggy at
スター
first.
クリア
but
4、
we
コモン
definitely
コンバ
got
治療
going.
戦闘が
But
19
super
回、
fun game. This is a great indie
エ
game.
リー
If
ト
you
キャラ
like,
倒したのが
if
1
you like
回、
tactical
ボス倒
RPGs,
した数が
this
4。
would be the type of game that you would probably
わざわざカウントされてるってことは、
Shout out to
これ以上
Diversity,
戦
my
うことがあるっ
commentator.
てこ
Thank
と
you
な
so
んかな。
much
ちょ
for
っ
your
とわからないで
commentary.
すけ
It's
ど
so
ね。
helpful to have a commentator when you're focused on the run. Big
アブ
shout
ノ
out
マ
to
ライ、
RPG Limit Break for allowing me to showcase this game. Please
ラ
continue
イ
to support
タ
this
イズ、
marathon, support Nami.
アブノマルティーズか。
So proud of the work that they do here and proud to be invited back to
で、これを取得した数が38個。これだからパッシブスチルとかあの辺選択した回数がってことですかね。
10 minutes. Good night as I crawl back into bed. And have a great rest of your RPG Limit Break. Goodbye.
途中で終わるからバッドエンドってことなんですね。なるほど。
All
まあ
right.
ここから8は皆さんの目で確かめてみてくださいっていう感じで、はい。
I'm just gonna say,
ということで、アノマリーコラプス
for myself,
の
it's not every day,
RTA
you
で
get
し
to host your partner's
た。
run at RPG Limit Break at 4 in the morning or any other time.
はい、じゃあ次のゲー
So
ム
proud of
準備
you.
してまいります。一旦失礼い
Congratulations
た
on a
しま
successful
す。
run. I've got $5 here from Red Silvers, who says, apparently my last comment got eaten by my phone, but I wanted to say I'm glad to see this game. I was curious about it before, so nice to see it here. And then also adds, this is an exclusive donation. We're going to go ahead and take just a quick break here while we get set up for our next run, which is Densetsu no Kusogi by Ghost Kumo. So we will see you on the other side. Be right back.